Hey cat lovers, and welcome back to another video. Did you hear the shocking news? Scotland is banning cats.
The Scottish government's put the cat among the pigeons, considering a ban to stop moggies from attacking birds and wildlife.
The Scottish government says they were considering the report from the Commission, causing rumours to swell that they could put a ban on cats.
At least that's what some recent headlines and social media posts have been saying. But is it true? Will Scotland really outlaw feline companions? The short answer is no. But here's the catch. Stricter regulations on cat ownership might be coming. So what does that mean for cat guardians? Stick around to find out. In this video, we'll uncover where this rumor started, what's actually happening, and what it could mean for the future of cat guardianship. Not just for Scotland, but around the world. If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to the channel for more cat videos. So where did this wild rumor even come from? Let's break it down. Where did the rumor start? Like many viral rumors, this one started with a grain of truth, but it quickly spiraled out of control. The idea that Scotland would ban cats seems to have originated from discussions about protecting native wildlife, particularly in rural areas. In 2024, conservation efforts in the UK made headlines when reports surfaced about restrictions on outdoor cats in certain areas to protect bird and small mammal populations. Then, in early 2025, the Scottish government began discussions on stricter regulations to protect native species from non-native predators. One of the key concerns? The European wildcat, a critically endangered species native to Scotland. These wildcats are often threatened by hybridization with domestic cats and competition for resources. Some news outlets and social media users took these conservation efforts and jumped to the conclusion that Scotland was planning a full ban on pet cats. Suddenly, alarming headlines began circulating, claiming that the Scottish government wanted to make cat ownership illegal. But what's the truth? Is Scotland really planning to ban cats? Not exactly. The Scottish Animal Welfare Commission, which advises the government on animal welfare, recently released a report, but it did not recommend banning cats. Instead, it suggested certain measures which we'll get into next. But the misinterpretation of these recommendations is what led to the rumor of the ban. What's really happening? The reality is far less dramatic than the rumors suggest. Scotland is not banning cats, but discussions about stronger regulations for cat ownership are underway. The Scottish Animal Welfare Commission recently released a report examining how domestic cats impact native wildlife, particularly the critically endangered European wildcat. This report did not propose banning cat ownership. Instead, it suggested potential measures to promote responsible pet ownership and protect vulnerable species. Some of the key recommendations include: Number 1. Mandatory microchipping and registration. Scotland already requires microchipping for dogs, and there has been growing support for extending this rule to cats. Microchipping helps identify lost pets, prevent abandonment, and distinguish owned cats from stray or feral populations. The SAWC report suggests that a national cat registry could improve accountability and conservation efforts, ensuring that unowned cats impacting wildlife can be managed more effectively. If implemented, failure to microchip and register a pet cat could result in fines or other penalties. Number 2. Fertility control recommendations. While not a legal requirement, the report emphasizes the importance of spaying and neutering to prevent uncontrolled breeding. Feral and free-roaming cats can contribute to rising populations that compete with wildcats and other native species. Encouraging widespread sterilization, particularly in high-risk areas, could help reduce hybridization between domestic cats and European wildcats, a major threat to the wildcat population. Some conservation groups advocate for stronger regulations, but so far there are no official plans for mandatory neutering laws. Number 3. Potential containment measures in sensitive areas. One of the more debated recommendations involves limiting free-roaming cats in regions with fragile ecosystems or endangered species. Some experts have suggested containment policies in specific areas, similar to regulations seen in parts of Australia and Germany. This could mean requiring pet cats to stay indoors or be supervised in enclosed outdoor spaces, like catios, in designated conservation zones. Another possibility is seasonal restrictions, keeping cats indoors during critical breeding periods for vulnerable wildlife. However, no official laws have been passed, and any future regulations would likely involve public consultation. These recommendations are not about eliminating pet cats, but rather about finding a balance between pet ownership and wildlife conservation. But if there's no outright ban, why all the fuss? The answer lies in Scotland's efforts to protect its native wildlife, especially the critically endangered European wildcat. Why is this happening? Instead of banning cats, Scotland is looking at ways to regulate their impact on the environment, ensuring that both domestic cats and native wildlife can coexist. Scotland is home to the critically endangered European wildcat. Once widespread, these wildcats have suffered from habitat loss, hunting, and hybridization with domestic cats. Conservationists are working to protect and reintroduce purebred wildcats, but one of the biggest threats is interbreeding with free-roaming pets and feral cats. Beyond wildcats, free-roaming domestic cats have been linked to declines in native bird and small mammal populations. Studies suggest that outdoor cats kill millions of birds and small animals each year in the UK. This is especially concerning because many of the affected bird species play important roles in the ecosystem, such as controlling insect populations and spreading seeds that contribute to plant growth. A decline in bird numbers can lead to imbalances in local ecosystems, potentially causing cascading effects that impact other wildlife and even agriculture. Conservation groups argue that limiting outdoor access, especially in protected areas, could help prevent further damage to native ecosystems. However, cat lovers and animal welfare groups worry about the impact of restrictions on cat well-being and owner rights. Some argue that policies should focus more on responsible pet care rather than restricting cat freedom. The debate is far from over, but one thing is clear. How we care for our cats is evolving, and these global trends are only just the beginning. The global trend toward cat restrictions. While this debate is happening in Scotland, similar discussions are taking place worldwide, as governments seek to balance pet ownership with wildlife conservation. In Australia, some regions have introduced strict cat curfews, requiring cats to be indoors at night or confined to enclosed outdoor spaces. In parts of Victoria and South Australia, these curfews mandate that cats remain indoors between sunset and sunrise, with some councils enforcing full 24-hour containment policies. The goal is to reduce hunting of native species, as well as prevent cats from getting into fights, being hit by cars, or spreading diseases. Owners who violate these curfews can face fines, and some areas even require cat registration, similar to the way dogs are regulated. New Zealand has taken an even stricter approach in some communities, where some conservationists have proposed the creation of cat-free suburbs to protect native wildlife. Because New Zealand has no native land mammals aside from bats, its bird species evolved without natural predators, making them especially vulnerable to introduced species like domestic cats. As a result, free-roaming cats have contributed to severe declines in bird populations, including the endangered kiwi. In response, some communities have suggested policies that would phase out cat ownership by preventing residents from getting a new cat after their current pet passes away. While controversial, these proposals highlight a growing trend toward stricter wildlife protection laws. Germany has also implemented cat-related regulations, but with a seasonal approach. In certain regions, cats must stay indoors during bird breeding seasons to reduce predation on vulnerable species. For example, in the city of Waldorf, authorities require cats to remain inside from April to August to protect the endangered crested lark, a ground-nesting bird that is highly susceptible to cat attacks. Owners who allow their cats outdoors during this period can face significant fines, and repeat offenders risk having their pets impounded. These measures aim to find a middle ground between pet ownership and conservation by restricting outdoor access only during critical times of the year. Could Scotland be moving in the same direction? It's possible. Conservation concerns are growing worldwide, and as governments look for ways to protect native species, restrictions on free-roaming cats may become more common. While an outright ban on cats is highly unlikely, future policies may lead to a world where outdoor cat access is more heavily regulated. Balancing cat welfare and conservation. So what's the solution? Instead of banning cats outright, experts are looking at alternatives to balance cat safety and conservation. On one side, many cat lovers argue that allowing cats to roam outdoors is part of their natural behavior. They point out that outdoor exploration provides mental stimulation, exercise, and an outlet for instinctual behaviors like climbing and hunting. For some owners, restricting a cat's freedom feels unfair, especially when cats have been living alongside humans as semi-independent hunters for thousands of years. On the other hand, conservationists empathize the devastating impact free-roaming cats have on wildlife, particularly in areas with endangered species. Outdoor cats, whether pets or feral, are skilled hunters that kill millions of birds and small mammals each year, sometimes pushing vulnerable species closer to extinction. The challenge is finding a solution that protects both cats and native wildlife without unnecessary harm to either. Some potential compromises have gained popularity. Outdoor cat enclosures, aka catios, allow cats to experience the outdoors safely while preventing them from hunting. These enclosed spaces range from small balcony setups to large backyard structures where cats can climb, play, and bask in the sun. By the way, if you're interested in a catio, we actually reviewed an awesome prefabricated one by Aivituvin, which we'll have linked in the description box below. Another alternative is leash training, which allows cats to explore outside under direct supervision, keeping them safe while preventing them from wandering too far or harming wildlife. For managing unowned cats, many experts advocate for stronger TNR, or trap, neuter, return programs, which focus on humanely trapping, sterilizing, and returning feral cats to their territories, preventing unchecked population growth without resorting to culling. Finding the right balance won't be easy, and opinions on the issue remain deeply divided. However, as more governments explore policies aimed at both conservation and responsible pet ownership, it's clear that discussions about cat regulations are only just the beginning. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to get rid of cats, it's to find a way for them to live safely alongside nature. Whether that means microchipping, indoor policies, or catios, the conservation is only just beginning. Now, we would love to hear from you. What do you think? Should cats be allowed to roam freely, or do conservation efforts justify restrictions? Let's talk about it in the comments. As always, we just ask that you please keep your comments respectful so that we can maintain a positive community. And now that you know all about this topic, we invite you to check out one of these PAWSOME videos next. We'll see you there, cat lovers.